There is a feeling that tends to show up around Christmas that few people talk about honestly. It does not arrive loudly. It does not announce itself as sadness. And it does not always look like loneliness. It feels more like a quiet emptiness. You might notice it in moments when everything is technically fine. The lights are up. The music is playing. The plans are set. And yet, something inside you feels unsettled. You catch yourself wondering why the joy everyone promises does not quite land. Why the warmth feels thin. Why the excitement fades faster than it should. And then the guilt follows. You tell yourself you should be grateful. You remind yourself that others have less. You try to push the feeling away. But the emptiness stays. This is usually the point where people assume something is wrong with them. That they are broken. Ungrateful. Emotionally defective. But what if the discomfort is not a failure of appreciation? What if Christmas is not designed to satisfy you at all? What if it is designed to awaken something instead? Christmas has a way of amplifying what already lives inside you. Not what culture tells you to feel, but what is actually there. When the noise slows down and the routine loosens, the inner world becomes harder to ignore. And if there is an unresolved longing beneath the surface of your life, Christmas brings it forward. Not to punish you. Not to shame you. But to show you. The emptiness is not proof that you are missing something externally. It is evidence that something internal is trying to speak. And Christmas gives it the space to do so. One of the great illusions of modern life is the belief that pleasure resolves meaning. We assume that if enough comfort, celebration, and novelty are layered onto an experience, fulfillment will naturally follow. Christmas is built on this assumption. More food. More lights. More gifts. More togetherness. And yet, this is precisely why dissatisfaction often becomes more visible during this season. Pleasure distracts the mind, but it does not answer the deeper questions of the soul. When pleasure peaks, the contrast becomes sharper. It is similar to turning down background noise. You do not create silence. You reveal what was already there. During most of the year, routine acts as a buffer. Work, deadlines, obligations, and constant motion keep deeper questions at bay. But Christmas pauses that motion. And in the pause, unresolved meaning surfaces. You may notice questions you did not plan to ask. Is this life actually fulfilling me? Am I connected, or just surrounded? Have I been busy, or have I been present? Fulfillment highlights what is missing rather than filling it. And that can feel deeply uncomfortable. This is why dissatisfaction often shows up precisely when things are going well. Not because success failed, but because awareness arrived. Contentment cannot be manufactured by events. It emerges from alignment. And Christmas does not create alignment. It exposes the absence of it. The discomfort you feel is not ingratitude. It is clarity. One of the most powerful forces Christmas activates is nostalgia. Memories surface without invitation. Scenes from childhood. Moments that feel warmer, simpler, more alive. At first glance, it looks like you miss the past. But that is not what nostalgia truly is. You are not longing for a specific time. You are longing for a specific state of being. Presence. Safety. Belonging. Simplicity. As a child, you experienced life without layers of self-consciousness. You were not managing identity. You were not optimizing your worth. You were not performing happiness. You were present by default. Christmas memories often carry that quality. Not because the past was perfect, but because awareness was unfragmented. This is why recreating the past never works. You can repeat the rituals, the decorations, the food. But the feeling does not fully return. Because what you miss is not the setting. It is the state. Nostalgia is not backward looking. It is inward pointing. It reveals a spiritual homesickness. A longing to feel whole again. Christmas brings this longing to the surface, not to trap you in the past, but to remind you of what presence feels like. You do not miss who you were. You miss how awake you were. Holidays have a strange effect on relationships. They magnify everything. Connection becomes deeper. But distance becomes more obvious. Unresolved tension surfaces. Emotional gaps widen. You may notice that being together feels heavier than expected. That conversations feel forced. That laughter does not land the way it used to. This can be confusing, especially when you are surrounded by people. But Christmas has a way of exposing emotional truth. During ordinary time, distance hides behind routine. Roles function smoothly. Everyone knows their lines. But holidays demand presence. And presence reveals what is missing. Togetherness does not create intimacy. It reveals whether it exists. This is why loneliness can feel sharper in company than in solitude. Because contrast removes illusion. Christmas does not damage relationships. It reveals their condition. It shows you where connection is real. And where it is maintained by habit. This is uncomfortable, but it is honest. And honesty is a form of awakening. Christmas carries heavy cultural expectations. You are supposed to feel joyful, grateful, fulfilled. There is a script for how the season should feel. And when your internal experience does not match that script, tension arises. This creates emotional dissonance. You smile while feeling heavy. You express gratitude while feeling empty. You perform joy while something inside resists. This resistance is not negativity. It is integrity. Forced gratitude is not gratitude. It is suppression. Joy cannot be scheduled. It cannot be commanded. And it cannot be performed into existence. When your inner truth does not match the cultural mood, awakening often begins. Not as rebellion, but as honesty. Spiritual maturity does not mean feeling positive all the time. It means being honest about what is actually present. Christmas pressures people to bypass that honesty. But the soul resists bypassing. This is why the season can feel exhausting. You are not tired of celebration. You are tired of pretending. And the exhaustion is a signal. One of the most overlooked aspects of Christmas is stillness. Time slows. Schedules loosen. Distractions fall away. At first, this feels uncomfortable. Without constant movement, inner noise becomes audible. Thoughts surface. Emotions rise. Many people rush to fill this space. More entertainment. More stimulation. More activity. But the stillness is not empty. It is unmasked. The soul speaks most clearly when it is not competing with noise. Christmas unintentionally creates a retreat environment. Not through intention, but through pause. And pause awakens awareness. Stillness is not peaceful at first. It is revealing. What arises in stillness is not new. It was always there. Christmas simply removes the cover. Awakening rarely arrives through comfort. It arrives through contrast. Joy highlights emptiness. Togetherness reveals distance. Celebration exposes meaning gaps. This is not cruelty. It is precision. The soul wakes up when illusion breaks. Not when everything feels pleasant. Comfort keeps awareness asleep. Contrast wakes it. This is why dissatisfaction often intensifies during Christmas. Because the contrast between expectation and reality becomes undeniable. Awakening is not despair. It is disillusionment. And disillusionment is the collapse of false meaning. What falls apart was never meant to sustain you. Christmas accelerates this process. Christmas is not a destination. It is a threshold. It does not come to complete you. It comes to remind you of presence, of truth, of what cannot be bought or performed. The mixed emotions you feel are not a failure of spirit. They are evidence of awakening. You do not need to fix them. You do not need to justify them. You only need to listen. Because Christmas does not awaken the soul by satisfying it. It awakens the soul by showing it what it is searching for. And once seen, that search can no longer be ignored.